I was just sitting here thinking, and now I have this question because I was thinking about domestic violence and like living with people that like their intentions are so different than your intentions, even though a codependent's intentions are still manipulative. Like, don't get me wrong, they're trying to get the other person, whether the other person is a regular like brain person or whether the other person is like a psychopath or a narcissist or just also traumatized, broken, maybe kind of a bully. Like, there's levels to that. Like, just because someone's an asshole or has some shitty patterns like doesn't automatically like make them like completely dangerous, but it those behaviors can be dangerous, depending on the level of like vulnerability of the people. But I was just thinking, have you ever noticed that like people actually spend more time at work and with coworkers than they do at home? And I just was wondering, like, does anybody think that like maybe like bullying in the workplace is kind of like a form of domestic violence because you're actually spending more time and even have like more weight on the approval of these others in the workplace system? Um, it's even more important to try to be what they want you to be because you're just trying to stay safe, do your best performance or whatever. And then you got like these bullies and psychopaths, narcissists, and maybe just assholes with their own trauma, like in a workplace for, 8.5 hours or so a day where individuals are literally forced or force themselves because it's voluntarily employed, right? You're voluntarily doing it, but you're not really. It's voluntary, but like there's like money, and then like you can use that money to like be able to go get a little bit of rest or like go see a doctor. And maybe you can even go like on a little vacation sometime, like for like a week or so, once every couple of years, to like remind yourself that you're still alive, right? But I digress. The only thing I was thinking was that like, what if people have like domestic violence like in their home life and in school and at work? Like, there's no difference because being a human being around other human beings, no matter what your physically activity or the labor or the expected behavior is, you're still just being human beings domestically. Domestically is nothing. That word means nothing. Like, literally, if you're around other people, you're in relationship and there is a domestic element, whatever the definition of that is, that is for some reason only applied to if you live in the same house for law purposes. Because I mean, come on. I'm not a fucking lawyer. Like, I'm so sick. Like, another thing is, I'm so sick of having to, like, rack my brain to figure this shit out. Um, to save my own life. Like, I literally have 13,000 views on a nail video or a nail picture. I mean, I'm on here, like, with my friends, like most of the people I know, and I just post random ass shit, and it's hilarious how many people say the same thing back to me, that my nails look terrible. Um, anyway, I don't even want to fuck with that right now. I put the tips on, I got some pictures, and I'll do that in a different video. This video is me waking up first thing in the morning with complex PTSD symptoms, after lots of self care. I wake up and I have to lay here with, oops, you almost saw my ass, with my dogs to calm my system, because I literally have lived an entire life of domestic violence. Never had those words. Started thinking about that like not that long ago and like letting it click. But therapists have helped me over the years, and learning that I was in a bad relationship a long time ago. Well, I've always been in bad relationships, but this was like a really bad one, um, like maybe 10 years ago. And I started researching the behaviors. And then I got to pages where on the websites they explain the cycles like of abuse, which like gave me like validation of all the things I was speaking up about. And of course, that is giving someone knowledge and education and peace, and potentially a way to save themselves, because at the end of the day, ain't no one coming to save any of us. Like, no one's coming to save us. Jesus is not riding in on like a horse to to push all the people you don't like, that hurt you, that you think are wrong, into some burning pit. And because you're so great, or you followed the rules, or like, whatever you think being a Christian is, all of a sudden you're gonna just flutter into something. So all of this is my ram page, my very ladylike breakdown, to say that I wake up first thing in the morning with adrenaline running through my veins and physical pain and an onslaught of thoughts that come into my head, trying to like solve the problems of all the abuse I endured, and hope. And doing that, I have been given myself the language by, all these professionals that actually like had the time or care to research it, and actually don't use that to cause harm, and actually provide that information to people so that we can communicate with each other about what is going on. So I want you to know that if you are the victim, or you believe you are the victim, proving that you're the victim is not as important as getting yourself to a safe space and away from whatever is causing you the severe distress. You can't prove it. You can't change the other person. You can't make them see the ways of what they're doing hurts you. If it's a pattern, it's a pattern, and whether they're doing it on purpose or they're struggling with their own cycles, we all need to get our own help, and stop, so that we can help each other. And the first thing is put your own oxygen mask on. And that's what I had to do for myself, because I was calling 988 and texting 988 for like 2 years. Yeah. Uh, and I was going through a lot of stuff in my own head and how I was perceiving my experience. But if you are codependent, or a bully, or you catch yourself being pushy and just desperately not wanting the relationship to be anything, or your partner tries to put you in a box, because every single partner I've had, every single one that I've had that I'm not in contact with anymore, because I would stay in contact with any person that I didn't want to continue sleeping with or being romantic with, like if they're a good person. And I've got a number of like exes that were totally fine. but anyone that I've had to stop contact with, one of the first signs I noticed early on is that like they didn't respect my boundaries, but it was like so subtle at first, and it was like testing, and you'd feel it, but you're like, oh, they're so great, or I really like everything else going on. I can stop expressing my spirituality so much, or I can stop talking to, that person. Yeah, they're really not that good for me anyway. I always get wound up afterwards, or suspicious of my partner afterwards, or, anything that makes you question yourself like that. So like I said, I just woke up, haven't had coffee, and need a cigarette. Um, but yeah, I had some shit to say, so I said some shit, and I hope you have a safe day, because safety first. Safety first. That's the one thing that saved me and helped me escape abusive situations, is I constantly told myself safety first, even if it means that I'm getting so angry that I want to freak the F out. Safety means separation. Okay. When it comes to um, dealing with a nervous system that is, firing off really high, so don't like be mad at yourself or whatever. But if you're feeling like so much anger, there's a reason. Like, anger is an emotion too. And I think that men, especially, are raised, this came to my mind too the other day. Male genitalia holding persons are often raised to have two modes, like testosterone driven, hyper masculine, like whoo, like, angry, tough, domineering, or strong, silent, and um like emotionless. And that is extremely damaging. No matter what your hormones or your body is, every person should be able to express themselves. And this gender shit, like, I can't, oh my God, I can't. Spirit. I guess this is the only time that I'm actually willing to turn the camera on. I want to say this one more thing, this one extra thing, because I think it's related. And then I got to get up. I'm thirsty. My dogs are sleeping and they're in the shape of a heart. I'm going to put a picture of that on my screen background thing, or whatever, cover thing. So what I was saying, right. Okay. So I think I did get the point across, even wherever I just cut off. I'm being gifted because it's actually really difficult for me to explain things and to talk to people. And that's why I put myself on camera all the time and accept, people not actually understanding me and shit like that, because I already survived. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so fuck the bullies. Like, I'm here for the people that are potentially like where I have been and am sometimes, which is like, yeah, 988. I need someone to talk to. And there's no fucking way that my entire fucking memory of being harmed by caretakers and the system is and then basically what that does is like programs us to like just do it ourselves, like just beat yourselves up, then, you know what I mean? So it actually makes it a lot easier because then people just end up beating themselves up anyway because, or each other, right? So like, come on, people. Come on. Bullying each other, judging, acting like you know better about every little thing or like one little thing. And I've done it because I because people treated me like they knew better all the time. I tried to learn the same stuff because I was like, if you know better, then why does this feel so wrong? I need to know what you know because I need to understand why, you know what I'm saying? So I can't even. I am here to send love. I don't care if my nails are ugly. I don't care if my my stretch marks are big. I don't care if I'm old, if I'm young, if I'm pretty. I love to just express myself however the fuck that comes across. And but what I want to say is that a lot of people judge books by their cover, and that's been my issue too. And I just want people to stop domestic violence. I just want people to stop hurting children and hurting each other and competing for what are we even competing for? The electricity is the water and electricity and air and land is given to us for free to take care of, to steward, and each other is given to us to appreciate and experience and understand. But instead we just hate each other and harm children and then create these brains that just play out these systems, these programs through all these painful systems while we're all distracted trying to figure out why we're so empty and miserable and separated from each other. And then we log into our phones and then we just hate on everybody and makes ourselves feel like, oh yeah, we're smarter, we're better, like we put the time in. It's privilege. It's privilege. Okay? Privilege is pretty, and pretty is privilege. But guess what? That's not the only thing, because um it's a, you know what? Being ugly, being beautiful, it doesn't. Oh my god. It none of it. Oh my god, it's like I can't. Okay. I got to get up. I love God. I'm receptive to God. I want to share a message, and just don't stop hurting each other. Hold each other. What are you fighting for? For land? For security? For a place to lay your head? For electricity? For water? For food? You know that we can all get all of that for free, just like tribes have. And it it's so weird because it's being sold back to us, but it's not being sold back to us. We're being conned into laboring for it to build systems and dreams that aren't ours, and then we're too depleted, and then we take that out on each other, and it's all domestic. That's bringing it back full circle.